All right. Good to go.
Thanks, Patrick. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.
Bye. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're here in the matter of Melody Ranch, docket number 25-00054 UT. Good morning, Mr. Bagacco, Ms. Tashino, Ms. Herrera Waldrop.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I think people are coming in. There's Mr. Whitney. We'll maybe give everybody just a few more moments to join, and then we'll get started.
All right.
Thank you. Mr. Whitney. Mr. Bagacco, do you expect anyone from NMED to join us this morning?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, not this morning as far as I've been looped in on, but
Okay.
that's not concerning. Because I think we've got some pretty basic and thankfully non-exciting things to discuss here this morning.
Okay, that's good. Just wanted to check. Thank you. I think Mr. Domenici is here. Good morning, Mr. Domenici. How are you?
Good morning. I'm
Good,
doing
good to see you.
I fumbled around to find the Zoom invite. Sorry about that.
No worries. It came a little late last night. We've been quite busy, as you can imagine. So I think maybe this might be it. Mr. Domenici, Miss Padilla won't be joining us this morning. Is that correct?
That's correct. She's on a Christmas type of travel. She'll be back the 30th.
Worries. Yes, no worries. And Mr. Bagacco just said he didn't expect NMED to join us. So with that, I think we are ready to get started. Mr. Bagacco, are you expecting anyone else to join?
No, I believe this is it. Mr. Kreinkamp's here listening in with me in the office here in Santa Fe.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Kreinkamp. So just for, I guess, formality purposes, we have Mr. Bagacco and Mr. Kreinkamp from Commission Utility Division, the legal division in particular. Mr. Domenici representing Melody Ranch, Ms. Tashino also from Commission Utility staff, division staff, and also Mr. Whitney from Commission Utility Division staff. And last but not least, Ms. Alyssa Herrera Waldrop from the Office of General Counsel. So I think we can go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead with start with staff and hear if there's any updates or things that they'd like to share.
I think top of the list would be we're thankful for the issue with the pump being readily and efficiently addressed last week. Pump went down. They were relying on, I guess, tank pressure and gravity to get through that. There was concern that it would take much longer than we had hoped, but they got on it and they got that pump fixed and they got it back in line and everything running again. And I trust and hope that that's still the case because I haven't heard anything from anybody saying otherwise. So, number one, thank you for getting on it, Melody Ranch, and getting it fixed and turned around. As far as everything else is concerned, too, you'll see that we did end up filing an interim report last week, starting in on I guess the questions that are out there regarding what the burn profile looks like, what the consumption rates look like for getting a better handle on what is presented by this executive order and how long it will last. And then after that, we also asked Melody Ranch for additional information going back, I believe, 36 months, so we have a good grip on historical performance and we can bring that up to the present. And then in the meantime, We did receive a lot of information from them that informs that analysis, and so we expect to have something that will bring forward additional detail filed later this week. Also, we have a request pending with our friends at the governor's office, and they're going to get with DHSEM to get more specifics on what it looks like in terms of where we are now and where we project we will be later this year, or excuse me, in the coming year. Because you'll recall the executive order, I think, brought forth a total of $250,000 in funding. And it's best, we feel, to get the information from the horse's mouth, so to speak, because they have a very good grip on their accounting. They have to, by the nature of what they do. And we hope
Right.
to have that data this week to inform our filing later this week. And if we do not, then we will supplement it. But I'm very appreciative of the governor's office and DHSEM's willingness to entertain our requests and to give us information that give us a better picture of where we are performance-wise. Other than that, as I said before, it seems to be knock on wood, steady as she goes, and the water hauling operation continues to, I believe, to be successful. And there you have it. As I said earlier, nothing exciting to report, and I'm thankful for that.
Yes, well, thank you again, Mr. Begacco, and on behalf of the commission, and I think everybody involved here, our gratitude is expressed to you and your colleagues for helping to restore service and acquire these interim funds and resources. I just would like to reiterate again to people watching this hearing and who have watched, and those of us participating, that it really does take everybody to restore the service, from the commission staff to Melody Ranch to the professionals at the commission, Mr. Shino, Mr. Whitney, as well as the community members and customers of Melody Ranch. So the more we work together with the governor's office, with the county, with the commission, with potential partners, I think that is very positive for everybody. Mr. Begacco, I just have a couple other questions regarding maybe potential discussions with another entity that might take over Melody Ranch utility. We can talk about that in a second. But I'll ask Mr. Domenici if he has any updates first, and if he can share with us any news from his perspective.
My news is very similar to Mr. Begatko's. My understanding from talking with Tracy is that the deliveries are usually about one water truck a day and maybe two on Monday, because they catch up for the weekend. And that seems to be keeping the tank with enough pressure that they can leave water on around the clock, is my understanding. The pump situation turned out well, but it sort of highlights that there's not much of a backup in place. At times in the past, they've had a reserve pump on hand. We don't have that currently. So if we lose a pump, it will be could be a big deal. Or if we have a longer repair. Apparently, according to Tracy, they had actually, before this circumstance occurred, they'd actually purchased a replacement pump to have on hand. It took several months, and when it came in, it was the wrong size. And so they returned that, they got a refund, and that's some of the money they used early in this to offset some of the expenses. So that little bit of cushion, financial cushion, is gone, and there is no backup pump. But the pump was repaired, and service was restored relatively quickly, and I don't think the water pressure was really affected. And I think the system's delivering about the same volumes of water that it has been. It's steady, it's pretty steady, and the delivery trucks are making up that difference, so they can have pressure and service continuous. So that's what I know about how the system's operating.
Okay, Mr. Domenici, any other updates before I ask some questions?
We haven't heard anything from, uh, at least that I'm familiar with from, EMWT.
Okay. One of the things I was going to ask to follow up on the discussion at our last hearing was the status of the accounts. Are you aware to what extent the customers have paid or who's in arrears, or uh, do you have any update on that situation?
Just very briefly, it's that no one has been cut off. There are still a handful of delinquent accounts that are staying delinquent. They're not coming current. Melody Ranch is not doing anything about that in terms of at least trying to cutting them off to try to, you know, and invoke them to make payment, you know, give them
Okay.
incentivize them. They didn't want to do that based on the, but not just based on the last hearing. Traditionally, they are very reluctant to do that anyways. But
Sure.
under circumstances, they haven't done that, and they're not. I don't think that's imminent, but these accounts are not coming current.
That's what I wanted to just confirm. And again, to reiterate, it really those customer accounts are critical to the maintenance and the sustainability of the infrastructure of Melody Ranch and even some of these repairs and things like that. So it's again very important that we all participate to restore the service for the community in any way that we can. And thank you for that update, Mr. Domenici. One other update, and this might be also for staff as well, but I'll ask you since we're discussing things right now, is update schedules. Have you been able to work with staff to come up with a fixed periodic manner and method to update the community around everything that could be related to repairing a pump or hauling issues or discussions with other entities or anything of importance? Have you been able to organize that yet?
Not that I'm aware of. I know with this pump circumstance, Miss Padilla sent a notification to the email list that she has, which she thinks is about 50%. That's sort of the readily available, probably more that could be used for regular updates or kind of more emergencies, both.
Sure.
But I don't know that she's made any decision to try to get more people on that list or how she can get more people on that list. So I'm not aware of that. She may have had discussions with someone at with staff or something, but she hasn't disclosed to me any plan how to deal with that.
Okay, that as you know, Mr. Domenici, and at the risk of belaboring your patience, is of the highest priority. Situational awareness and coming up with periodic updates that are expected and anticipated by the community, even if it's a minor update, even if it's an update to say status quo, normal, we're moving ahead, or even small updates such as we had a hiccup with the pump, but now it's working, or even other major significant updates. So again, the commission is very, very adamant that there are periodic updates to the customers. And updates don't necessarily have to be for major or dramatic events or news items. Just that periodic nature and check-in, I think, really makes a big difference in terms of trust and confidence and collaboration between all the parties. So I would ask you to make that in many ways your utmost priority for next time we meet. Okay.
I'll make sure we have a proposal or an update on the next meeting, December 30th.
Okay. Thank you. So I just had some other questions. for you, Mr. Begacco, have you had any updates or discussions with EMWT or other potential partners that have been discussing working with or collaborating with Melody Ranch?
You know, I've asked them directly how things are going, as I'm speaking about EMWT, and I haven't had a response, but I hear secondarily through others who attend their board meetings and everything that everything seems to be green lit and it's a go. But I can restate my request for, you know, a status directly from them. But I also trust and understand that not hearing from them sometimes means that they're busy and they're working on it. So I try to balance the need to know and my own curiosity with not becoming that person who's always looking over their shoulder, because I really appreciate what they've been doing and what they've been trying to do. That said, though, I've also discussed the matter with NMED and just trying to get their read on it, because I think they have a lot more occasion to discuss the status of things with NMED, especially since NMED offers an unparalleled level of expertise in terms of funds procurement and how it's done, especially with that state drinking water revolving fund process. And so my impression, and I trust it right now, is that things are being worked on and they are underway. Going back for the moment to the directive in your last order regarding collaboration with Melody Ranch to enhance communications with the community, we are cognizant of it and we've been discussing how to make that something that's more standardized internally. And it seems like that perhaps a procedural opportunity has presented itself in the confines of this case, which might be something that Melody Ranch could avail itself of in terms of at least having a channel to communicate reliably, because that's how we've done it in the past, is with our structure and our resources, you know, the town halls that we've sponsored, the in-person that we had at the Pacheco hearing hall and things of that nature. I think sometimes if we have a way to help facilitate that, we're doing that. So we're looking at it and we're trying to come up with a way to make it something I think that will meet the goals and aims expressed in that part of your last order. Other than
Thank
that,
you.
yeah, I wish I had something more to report on it, but the drama last week was the pump. And
Right.
again, I'm thankful that that was something that was resolved fairly quickly.
Yes, I think we're all very thankful for that. And just going back to your previous point, I think the approach with any potential partner that you have displayed so far is the right one. I think that the time and the space given to any potential entity is correct, and they have to go through their processes. And the question was just to see if there was any news. And thank you for that update. Also, with respect to periodic updates, Mr. Domenici, and also Mr. Begacco, but also more for Mr. Domenici, there's a wide variety of ways that the communication can take place. And so that could be through text message or email, mail, a combination of all of these, because as we've discussed, there's going to be customers that have different ways that they receive or interact with Melody Ranch. So feel empowered to creatively address the methods and the means that are best suited to keep the community updated of both minor things or major things. And I'll also say, just back to this issue of potential partner, Mr. Begacco, have you and staff discussed this yet? And by that, I mean any alternatives to EMWT and what that might look like. And do you have any thoughts about that?
I could say the alternatives to EMWT, there aren't a terrible amount of entities or other figures out there in the universe who are rushing to step forward in the event EMWT, for some reason, can't fulfill it. But alternatives have been more robustly discussed in the sense of alternative ways to permanently solving the water problem, meaning there is discussion about having another well, but there's also discussion about how to facilitate possibly a connection to existing infrastructure that exists in the locality of the neighborhood. But more than that, I mean, it's just discussion and it's speculation and it's so-called spitballing. And whoever's
Sure.
listening out there, I don't want to like upset the apple cart with anybody either, because doing any of that involves so many considerations, not only economically speaking, but also infrastructure wise, and then to some degree, depending on who you're dealing with politically. So it is something that features in our discussion and our analysis, but I can say also that our focus is primarily right now on maintaining the water hauling regime and then supporting and facilitating EMWT's efforts. But yes, the alternatives are still part of the discussion.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that. And I just ask it because I think it's important for us to keep in mind, as we discussed last hearing, that the emergency funds won't last forever. So it's our goal to take full advantage of this moment and this opportunity where we have some degree of restored service to find a safe and viable landing zone for the community and customers in Melody Ranch. So I think that's most of the updates and matters I wanted to discuss. Mrs. Alyssa, sorry, Mrs. Herrera Waldrop, would you like to ask anything or raise any matters that we haven't discussed yet?
I don't believe I have any questions at this time, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think that might be sufficient unless anybody else has anything to say from Utility Division staff. Would just like to, in the meantime, reiterate the commission's thanks to everybody, particularly staff, for their hard work, and we're looking forward to that update this Friday. And Mr. Domenici, thank you also for being with us and providing your updates. And in case anybody needs to change a date, just please inform the hearing examiner and all the parties and provide some alternatives so that we can keep this momentum going and the discussion going. And again, it does take all of us, and I think we're seeing the results of full collaboration. And I'm hopeful, and we're all optimistic that this kind of work will lead to a full restoration of service in the future.
Could
So,
I raise
yes,
an
go
issue?
ahead, Mr. Domenici.
So,
Yes.
since I last met, I attended a mandatory mediation on the case it's a U.S. Supreme Court case, Texas versus New Mexico, and I've been ordered to attend mediations the second and fourth Tuesday of every month for the next 6 months in that case, and I can't control that. There's 25 to 30 people generally attending those sessions, so that's what led me to, in my letter to you, say I was going to request a change. But since people are on the line, is there a day that's better or worse? To move this a day to a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday, or because I know there's other competing demands on everyone's time. And I don't want to belabor that right now if it's better to do it by motion, but since everyone's here, I would just say, if just those 2 days happen to be the exact days that you've also set. And so I'm willing to do the motion practice and go through that to try to identify another day and time. If there's some preferred time that people, or something that doesn't work, if people could identify that.
That, Mr. Bigatko, Mr. Kreinkamp, any particular conflicts or concerns that you have about changing from Tuesday to another day?
I think Wednesdays right now naturally suggest themselves, just talking with Mr. Kreincamp very quickly and looking at my calendar. And I think we can make that work to accommodate Mr. Domenici's commitment to the big time water case there. So, yeah, I think we can do that. I don't know about my utility division staff, but at the very least, they can inform us about their positions and we can still keep this going, as you said, because part of the reason why you want these status conferences is to conserve and preserve and maximize our momentum. So I can
Right.
do that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. DeShino or Mr. Whitney, any immediate concerns or red flags with moving to Wednesday?
No, not for me. Wednesday seems to be a
Okay,
good
thank
day
you.
for me as well.
No immediate red flags for me either.
Great, thank you for first of all, Mr. Domenici, thank you for the response last week. Very much appreciated. And we'll go ahead and amend the order and set this for Wednesdays at 9.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I appreciate that.
Sure, no problem. Anything else, anybody, before we conclude for today?
Nothing further from staff. Thank you very much, Mr. Hearing Examiner, and thank you, Mr. Domenici.
Nothing further from Melty Ranch. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Keep up the good work, and we'll meet the following Wednesday. Thank you.